SIP panel homes. What's a SIP panel? Are they any different to normal home builds? Let's take a look at that. I was recently invited down to Green Edge Homes in Florida for their grand opening, and it was super cool to see. Best part was I didn't know anything about SIP panels going into it. I had to look it up before I even went down there. And I didn't want to delve too deep because I wanted to get the full experience with completely unfiltered eyes. The prep work is exactly the same as a traditional home. Utilities in the ground, slab, and then that's where it gets different. Unlike traditionally built homes, the SIP panels are manufactured to be put together on site. So all the measuring, cutting, everything is done at the factory. It shows up on a truck and you and some friends put it together. That simple. So it builds a house real similar to what you're used to. But how are the SIP panels made? Let's look. The core is the styrofoam, and you need to stick it between whichever paneling choice you're using at that time. It has to run through this glue machine and get glue spread on both sides of it, which it does at the same time. Here you can see it coming out perfectly even, ready to go to the next phase. From here, it either goes onto a hardy panel or onto a zipboard panel, depending on which type of wall is being made at the time. Once it's placed down and squared and aligned, the next panel goes on top of it, and you're done. One panel made. Rinse and repeat until you get a stack of about 10 of them, depending on the thickness, of course. The current ones being stacked are hardy board. You can see the zip systems right behind there, right in the foreground. Once you get going, this goes really, really fast. And it's really cool to see how quickly they can actually build an entire house of panels. Once the stack or order is high enough, it's time to move on to the next phase, and that's the vacuum portion. Bag is dropped, vacuum pumps are turned on. Now that pressure holds as the glue cures.
A few minutes later.
Time and temperature do play a part in how long these cure, but once they're done, it's time to pull that vacuum bag off of the stack and look at the finished result. There you go, panels ready to put together in home, shed, temporary shelter, you name it. The panels in this stack are actually wall panels, and we're going to be using the same thing to build a utility shed emergency shelter in just a couple of minutes. I'll show you a time lapse of that. But look at that, nice and clean. It's an example of the same type of structures that have been up for 10 to 15 years at a no-kill shelter. They use these to house dogs to keep them separate and keep them stress-free, but they've been up for a decade and zero damage with all the hurricanes. They're fantastically tough, withstand 200-mile-an-hour winds. Here's a time lapse of the crew throwing one of these smaller structures together, and just see how easy it is. I understand this is sped up, but it really did go up awfully fast. So many possibilities with these, and their energy savings are unreal. 60% savings on your energy cost. It's not just sheds. You can build your home with this. Way more energy efficient, up to 60% cheaper, and they're so easy to build. Why aren't all homes being built like this? I don't understand. This is so cool, so eye-opening. A huge shout out to Green Edge Homes for letting me take part and see how this all goes together, and to the VA loan lady for inviting me down so I could check all this out. If you've got questions about your VA loans and using SIP panels to build your home, contact the VA loan lady, and I'll have her link down below, or get a hold of Green Edge Homes. See what they have. Take a look at their website. They got a lot of different homes to choose from, and they do custom builds. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe if you want to see more of this type of content.